What's up everybody, my name is Mo, and today we're going to be reviewing The Ring and the Crown by Melissa de la Cruz. When I reached 100 subscribers, I made my 100 subscriber video, and in that video I told you to leave a comment down in the comment section about what books you might want me to review or any video requests you might have for me. So yeah, in one of these suggestions, as is being shown right here beneath my face, a lovely subscriber suggested that I review The Ring and the Crown for you, and so I read it and I reviewed it, and this is my review of it. My shirt kind of clashes too much with the cover, so sorry if that's a little obnoxious. I didn't really notice that until now. This book review is going to be a spoiler-free book review because I feel like these are the most helpful, and spoiler-free book reviews are kind of like my favorite to watch, I feel like. Although I really do like book reviews where booktubers just like gush about their favorite parts and favorite characters and stuff. Tell me down below what you think. Should I do more spoiler-free reviews or more non-spoiler-free reviews? So for the spoiler-free review type thing, I'm going to talk about the plot, I'm going to talk about the characters, and then I'm going to give any warnings. Certain books may mention things that people don't really want to read about, or certain books may be kind of bad, you know, and have those tropes and annoying things, like love triangles, for example. Maybe you really don't want to read a book about a love triangle, and so I could be like, warning, this book has a love triangle in it, and then you wouldn't read it, and all would be well in the world. The Ring and the Crown by Melissa de la Cruz was originally published in 2014 and has 384 pages. On Goodreads, it has an average rating of 3.51, and I personally gave it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. If I had to describe The Ring and the Crown in 2 words, it would definitely be plot twists. Literally, this book got an extra star from me. I was only going to give it 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. It got an extra star just because of all the plot twists. Which may seem kind of like a dumb thing to give a book extra stars for, but the fact that it can continually surprise the reader is important. This hand's tired now, I have to hold it on this side, sorry. The ability to be able to surprise the reader constantly and have so many plot twists in a novel is really good. Like, that's a really good quality and a very good thing to have in your book. Especially for young adult books where the plots can kind of be very similar and the characters can kind of be very similar. It's important to have such things if you're gonna go for a very similar plot to, say, another YA book. Not that this book has a similar plot. This is probably one of the most unique plots I have ever heard of in YA. I don't really want to do big summaries because you can kind of just look those up anywhere, but I do feel the need to describe it a little bit, so let me try and summarize it for you. The time period for this, I believe, is the early 1900s, and England kind of controls the entire world. The Queen has secured the help of the Merlin, who is the most powerful wizard, sorcerer guy, and he kind of helps and makes sure that the Queen of England stays in power and that everything, the whole world, is under the Queen's power. And she has a daughter who is Marie, Princess Marie. Princess Marie is going to have to marry a prince on the opposing side who is actually fighting the England Empire of sorts, and so to stop the war and to keep peace and blah blah blah, Princess Marie thus enters an arranged marriage between her and the prince of this other country that's fighting them. And then her best friend comes back from this secret magical town, almost. Marie's friend Eowyn is the daughter of the Merlin, actually, and Merlin isn't exactly supposed to have children, and she kind of messes up and gets sent to the magical exile place I was talking about earlier. If it sounds complicated, that's because it is. There are many other characters. I'm not really go into them super specifically because I think the fun of this is learning about all the new characters. I thought there were only going to be 2 main characters when I went into this, but there were actually a lot more than that, and it's actually kind of cool to kind of learn about them on your own, so I'm gonna leave you with that. This book felt a lot like a soap opera. It was very dramatic. You think you know how this book will end or what the characters will do, but you 100% don't. Any ideas you may have of what you think is gonna happen at the end, I can almost assure you that you will be wrong in the end. The conclusion of this was really good. I think some people would say it was rushed, but I feel like that really added to the intensity of it, which usually I don't like, but in this case I feel like it really worked for this style of writing, I suppose. Because there were so many characters and subplots, the story could get pretty confusing if you weren't 100% paying attention, which is what I would mention before when I talked about it being kind of confusing. I do feel like some parts of the story weren't explained or were missing. For example, some aspects of the Princess Marie and her abilities concerning magic and stuff, I feel like weren't really explained clearly or at all. Although this could be attributed to the confusing nature of the multiple characters and complicated plot. I really wish that the magic was given more attention to and talked about more. It was a really fascinating part of the story that I feel was often overshadowed by the multiple characters and all their subplots. I would have liked to hear more about the magic and how it works. I don't know, I just feel like the magic wasn't talked about enough. I don't know if it was intentional, but the subtle social commentary on the rich versus the poor and the luxury of the royal family versus the complete poverty of like the immediate surrounding city was excellent. When Princess Marie journeys into the city surrounding her castle for the first time in many, many years, she's like completely shocked at the poverty of the town, of the city. You really feel that shift from luxury to poverty, and it hits you the same way it hits the princess. Sudden and blunt with no forgiveness. Now for the characters aspect of the novel, there were kind of too many. Although I really did like the way the book was written in that it incorporated so many characters, I think it's fascinating when there's multiple main characters, because then you don't just get tired of the main character after like a ton of books, you know? I understand that in the end, each perspective played a very important part in the story, but at times the numerous characters and changing of point of views could be too much, and once again attributed to the confusing nature of the plot. However, I will say that it did add to the soap opera feel and made everything very dramatic, which I think really lends itself to the story and the story type. I feel like it really fit the story well and the direction it ended up going. The way all the characters ended up tying together at the end and who ended up with who was done really, really well. It made it really enjoyable to have an outcome for the characters so different from the one that you expected to happen. Overall, like I said, I gave this 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and I really enjoyed it. Like, I'm glad I waited to read this book, I feel like, because I read it and it was amazing. Now, would I recommend that you read The Ring and the Crown? I would recommend it to you if you really like soap operas, if you like those dramatic TV shows, if you like drama, pretty much. It's historical fiction meets fantasy meets drama, and it really ties well together, like all the genres I just said. They all work really well together to create a very compelling story with very compelling characters. So I do have 2 warnings for this book, so these are kind of things that I'm gonna mention to you, and if you're like, oh my god, that has that in it, no way am I reading it, then there you go, you know, instead of not knowing and reading this and being like, wow, that was such a disappointment. So the first thing I'll mention is that this does have an arranged marriage in it, and it is very focused on that. This isn't like a huge one, it's just kind of a minor warning, but I feel like I should mention it just because some people really don't like that aspect of like royal family type stories, you know? The other one is a sexual abuse mention. It's not graphic, it's not discussed a lot, it's a minor thing that's mentioned, but I do want to say it to you in case you're like, oh no, I definitely don't want to read that. And that's all for this review. If you liked it, give it a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Please tell me in the comments down below if you like these spoiler-free reviews better than just regular non-spoiler-free reviews. And yeah, that's it for this video. I really hope you liked it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the stuff the YouTubers say, and I will see you next time with another video. Bye! I got this new little thing in my Loot Crate box, and it just broke. Which may seem kind of which may seem like a stupid thing to give extra stars to, which may seem like a stupid thing to give, which may seem like a which may seem kind of dumb, which may seem like, oh my fucking god. I'm sweating so much, man. I need to get out of here.